7:44. This is Piscopo in the morning. Joe is hanging out at the White House with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Frank Morano and Gattullo here holding down the fort. And our next guest has worn many hats over the years. Speaking of Frank Sinatra and the way you wear your hat, he has been a state legislator. In fact, I think he was the youngest state legislator in New Jersey. He has been a PhD. He is a professor. He is a motivational speaker. He is an author. He is a columnist. He is a PBS anchor. And now, after years of trying to make this a reality, beginning this weekend, he can officially add to his Yellow Page style resume the title of AM970 The Answer talk show host. And we are very, very pleased to welcome the one and only Steve Adubato. Steve, good morning.
I am humbled, Frank. My sense is that Al was just standing and applauding. And,
I was seated. Steve, I won't lie.
I am absolutely thrilled, not only to be listening to you guys this morning, and that Joe is off doing good things, but, you know, look, this weekend we kick off what is being called the Steve Adubato Leadership Hour.
So the Steve Adubato Leadership Hour begins this Sunday at 2 p.m. Now, what is this show, Steve? Now, people who listen to talk radio, even great shows like this one, you don't necessarily associate maybe news, commentary, entertainment. You don't necessarily associate it immediately with leadership lessons, but you've spent a lot of time studying leadership and writing about it and talking about it. What can we look forward to every Sunday afternoon?
So this book, the show is largely based on my book, Lessons in Leadership. That book is about real practical issues, problems, challenges that leaders face. I don't care if you're the head of a department, a middle manager, the president of a university, you're running a radio station, you want to start a new business. Leadership challenges get us confused, they get us frustrated, and my professional life, other than being a broadcaster, has been about leadership. I run a not-for-profit production company connected to public television. We have to raise money. We have to run a team. Great people leave. Good people have to be recruited. Look, every one of us is a leader, whether you have the CEO title or not. You guys are leaders of that show, along with your chief executive officer, Joe Piscopo. And everyone answers, if you will, to our friend Jerry Crowley, who's the GM. My point is, everyone is in a leadership position. This show is practical, real-life challenges, and more importantly, tips and tools that people can use.
Well, I'm excited. I'm going to be listening to it. All the best shows are on Sundays on our
including yours.
Exactly. Somebody mentioned. So, are you going to be interviewing leaders and then talking about what they do, or is it mostly you giving your own analysis of other leadership examples you've cited?
In fact, I'll actually be joined in the studio by my longtime colleague, Mary Gamba. Mary is the head of marketing and client relations for our company, Stand and Deliver. And Mary's been a leader of our team. She's not a broadcaster per se, but she's smart. She understands these issues. She deals with our clients every day. So she's on the air with me, and I don't want to say as a sidekick, but as a colleague and a co-host. And we interview leaders of all stripes. This weekend it happens to be Larry Downs, who is the chairman and CEO of a major energy company down at the Jersey Shore, New Jersey Resources. There are heads of hospitals and universities and businesses and folks who deal with leadership challenges, and they challenge themselves and they admit their mistakes. They admit what they've learned from those mistakes. That's why the book, if you will, was called Lessons in Leadership. So to the stations, I don't want to say credit, they've given me the opportunity. I'm honored. I'm humbled. I'm thrilled to be joining the AM970 family Sundays at 2 p.m. for the Steve Adubato Leadership Hour.
So, and Steve, so this is original radio programming. It's not, just an audio simulcast of your television show.
No. In fact, the first half hour is totally original content. It is just exclusive for AM970 Leadership Hour. I will acknowledge that the second half hour is our public affairs show, State of Affairs in New Jersey, which deals with leadership in the state of New Jersey. So this weekend happens to be the Senate President, Steve Sweeney. Let's just say he's an outspoken, candid leader who is having an interesting dialogue with the official CEO of the state of New Jersey, both Democrats, Governor Phil Murphy. So this weekend we have Steve Sweeney, the Senate President.
How are they getting along, Steve?
Today?
Yes.
let's just say they have different views of the world, different views of how government should be run, different view of taxes, most importantly, and people get confused and think, oh, they're Democrats, or so-and-so's a Republican. Look, President Trump has challenges with Republican Congress, as he should because they're independent, and Governor Murphy, a Democrat, has real challenges with a Democratic-controlled Assembly and Senate, and it is headed by, if you will, the Senate President, Steve Sweeney, and he'll be talking about that candidly this weekend on AM970 for the second half hour of the Leadership Hour. That's from 2:30 to 3. But I am pumped. I'm excited. Of all the things I've done professionally, I will say that this has got me more pumped up than anything in a lot of years.
Well, that's because your forthcoming interview with Al Gattullo hasn't taken place yet. I understand on very good authority, Steve, you are actually going to be interviewing the host of the Craft Beer Cast, Al Gattullo, and this is an interview. I mean, this is like Frost Nixon. This is something that we've been waiting for literally days. So,
no, see, Frank, you joke, but the reality
No, he's serious. No, Frank, Steve, he's taking a shot at me.
Well,
Clearly, not joking.
And I also argue that great leaders do not go into the gutter, Frank, and give snarky comments to their colleagues. But the reality is, when I interview Gattullo, he's going to talk about the leadership that it's taken to take his show onto the station, to be an aficionado of beer, to teach people everything they ever wanted or needed to know about beer, whether they liked it or not. The reality is, I'm having Gattullo, and I'm going to have you, Frank, because you not only are a great broadcaster and producer, but what you do politically shows your multi-talented ability as a leader. And finally, I will have Piscopo as well, talking about anything he wants to talk about.
Very, very good, Steve. Steve, you've made Al's morning by promoting the. So I'm going
you guys make my morning every morning. I'm just not just kissing up like with thousands, tens of hundreds of thousands of other folks. You guys make the morning every morning, particularly with Joe.
Before we let you go, Steve, give us a preview of these congressional primaries on Tuesday. I know the Republican primary for the Gottheimer seat between Lonigan and McCann has gotten a lot of attention, but so has the primary that Jay Weber's involved in. Tell us how you see these primaries going, and if there's any key themes that we can expect. Sometimes there's a theme like the Tea Party wave, or the anti-establishment wave, or the anti-incumbent wave, or the blue wave, the pink wave. What waves can we expect to see out of New Jersey this Tuesday, Steve?
Put it this way, Frank. I don't follow the congressional races in detail, but I will say this. The one issue, the one dominant factor in all these races, whether it's a Democratic primary or Republican primary, is, in fact, President Trump. One way or the other, he is going to influence these races, and he will influence the races in the fall, in the general election, between the Democrats and Republicans. And but I also want to make it clear, the Leadership Hour with Steve Adubato is not about politics, but in fact about leadership. I just want to clarify that.
Very good, Steve. Thank you very, very much. We will be listening Sunday afternoon at 2.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.